Last week on Kingsport 1692, Aphra's father told her that he wanted to lay her to rest. Mercy and Chastity had a picnic and met sexy, shirtless axeman Fear the Lord Wood. Fortune and Verity grew very close, but it all came upside down when Grace Baxter was witched. Will Aphra find rest? Will Mercy and Chastity find out who's witching Grace Baxter? What truth will Verity discover? And will Fortune have any luck casting spells? Find out all this and more tonight on Kingsport. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Kingsport 1692, our Monsterhearts set in the Puritan Witch Trials period, where our great cast is here once again. So let's let them all introduce themselves. Let's start with Chastity Whitburn, who's played by David.
Yeah, that's me. Still trying to get my camera to work, but Chastity's doing fine. She is a hollow who mysteriously, not too long ago, under her father question mark, I think what was it, Major Justice, of course, and has a witch servant that she saw doing something strange in the woods that's been on her mind, and who knows what's going on.
Something strange in the woods, but it wasn't magic. Well, it might have been. We have to ask poor Fortune. Why don't we ask poor Fortune? Fortune Greenwood is our witch and is played by Daryl.
Hi, yeah. Fortune is a recent transplant to Kingsport because she fled Salem after things got kind of heated. She's really just kind of looking to rebuild the family / coven that she had back in Salem, and she is willing to go through anyone to get that. And last week she went through Fear the Lord Wood and had a rather great time, and also picked up his hunting knife as a token of affection. So that was before she got a little bit spooked about the fact that there's another witch in town who is kind of causing us trouble. And that's a little bit unnerving for her.
A token of affection, hunting knife. I've dated that guy. Yeah, why don't we go next to Aphra Moore, played by Leandra.
Hi, so Aphra is the ghost of this session. She is the daughter of the minister of Kingsport, one named Concord Moore. She was a rebellious, tempestuous girl looking for excitement, i.e. witchcraft, but found something in the woods and ended up dying for it. And so she's kind of now just sad and bitter and resentful, especially of the more weirder people of Kingsport that now she's acquainted with, specifically a wolf that we'll meet later on. So she is kind of, yeah, she's been in a bit of a state. In our last session, we found out that her father is going off on a trip to England to put her to rest. And also her friend who kind of look up to her is maybe kind of being possessed by a witch. Who knows? Maybe not. We don't know. Play to find out what happens, etc., etc. And yeah, so she's not in a good state, and things might happen this session. I've been promised things. Spoilers. Sorry.
We live to serve. Why don't we go to that wolf friend, Verity Goodwin, the werewolf, played by Serafina.
Yep, I'm Verity Goodwin, your local friendly wolf friend. Totally not harmful to your health at all to be very close to me. Um, Verity is a young woman who is pretty sure that her parents basically want to get rid of her in the wake of certain rumblings from Salem because they are at least aware of the fact that as an upstart, she might draw attention. So she's not super happy about that because she doesn't like the idea of being a servant. She's very interested in Fortune Greenwood in ways that she's not entirely in control of because wolf nature. And she's not super thrilled about this Fear the Lord Wood human that's shown up and is now apparently living in her house and helping her father because he is naturally a carpenter. Stuff's weird for Verity right now, you guys.
Wow, I mean, there's weird and weird. She's not bewitched yet. And finally, last but definitely not least, Mercy Pembleton, who is a deep one, played by Dylan.
Yes, Mercy Pembleton. She is a deep one, and her sort of in the age of deep ones, her family was once really powerful and prolific, and now it's kind of this failing dynasty that she just wants out of. She wants to get away from the sort of the deep one clan and experience the world, experience life like she thinks everybody else is, and that's mostly Mercy. She's supposed to be, her parents want her engaged to John Baxter, another local of Kingsport, of the Baxter family, and she's totally not into that at all. Like I said, she kind of wants to get away. She would love to be a servant, I think, for somebody else, or she's almost the opposite of she wants to be a servant. She wants to get out of her coven, which isn't really a coven, but out of her family. So that's Mercy.
Oh, don't worry, this will all turn out well. So when last we left off, poor Grace Baxter had been witched, and this had thrown at least two of our characters into somewhat of a tizzy. So why don't we find out what people's reactions are to poor Grace being witched, and then we'll see what scenes suggest themselves out of that. So, Verity, what do you do when you hear about poor Grace Baxter being witched?
What was the exact circumstance again?
She began to have fits.
Oh, that's right. She's having fits at the end of the film.
And seeing things that no one else can see.
Right. I think Verity's immediate response is that might very well be a real thing. Like there might be something strange happening. And so her probably natural reaction is going to be to go looking for whatever it is that's like affecting her. Like go to her house, sniff around, maybe literally, and sort of investigate.
So a question I guess I have is whether or not you can change into a wolf at any time other than full moon.
I think, what did I take as my thing? I took it as ancestral birthright, right? Ancestral power awoken. So I think she can. It's not like she's chosen by the moon. I think she can change when she wants to.
Okay, that is good. What about you, Mercy? And just as a clarifying question, or a clarifying thing, we can assume that some amount of time has passed, like maybe perhaps a week, one of those television weeks.
So I think Mercy is just incredibly curious. She doesn't know whether this is for real or or a hoax or just something else. She's again, it's just it's something new and different. So she's mostly curious about it, and her hasn't made a judgment yet, but she's probably thinking it's maybe just an illness or something.
So, do you visit Grace?
Yeah, I think she does. I think she tries to duck out and without her parents knowing, visit her.
Cool. I mean, not cool, but um, what about Chastity?
Well, much like Chastity, the Hollows want to do, she watches else's reaction to gauge how she should act in these situations. And I think since she probably has her eye closest on Mercy and Fortune at this point, so maybe she's following Mercy's lead in that case. So maybe mostly just oh, Mercy, what do you think this means? What is that? What tell me everything about all these things.
Oh dear. Again, this will work out totally fine. So why don't we find out what Fortune is up to with poor Grace?
So, since a week has passed, I'm assuming that abstinence did not show up at my house at midnight, and we did not get to do any kind of witchy woo to figure anything out. And that's actually kind of got Fortune panicked. And so, any kind of brazenness that you may have witnessed before this point has been completely evaporated. And so she is very quietly and closely towing the line. She's showing up to meeting very punctually. And the other thing that she's done is, volunteering her services. She's actually gone to the Baxter house and, tried to, offer her services to care for Grace. And if anything, she probably has used that as an opportunity, if I can be sneaky about it, to maybe pawn one of or pilfer one of her possessions so that I might be able to peek in with my magical abilities.
I may require a roll for that in a sec, but that sounds like a good idea. And I guess, Aphra, what are you doing with your poor friend Grace, who is witched?
I've been staying in the room for long periods of time. When they're that sounds creepier than it is, but yeah, African walk through walls. So she's been spending a lot of time just watching over Grace, and kind of at this point, Aphra is almost beyond caring that people find out that she's a ghost, and Grace knows. I think that happened in the last session. Aphra pretty much outright admitted it, and I think, yeah, especially when it's at night, in case, there's more night terrors happen. Aphra spends a lot of time keeping watch, like a vigil, over the room. So if anyone starts pilfering things, she might notice.
That seems like the place to have our scene. So yeah, Fortune, you've been coming in and standing vigil over poor Grace, and so has Aphra. So Aphra, is this one of those things where you show up unexpectedly?
Yeah, yes. Maybe Fortune is there first, and they're setting up, and Aphra just walks through a wall.
Possibly going through Grace's stuff, looking for a sympathetic token.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Well, I'll let Fortune set that up.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Yeah. Okay. So the camera kind of pans into the room, and I'm assuming that Grace is not fitting right now. She's probably unconscious and sweaty, and I dab her forehead lightly, and I'm singing her psalms quietly under my breath. And then when I kind of check to see that she's quiet, I sit up or stand up, and I kind of take a turn around the room, and I go over to a chest of drawers, and I just slowly slide it open and take a peek in.
Yeah, and that's right behind you. Aphra just walks through the wall, and and sees that and just like stomps forward and kind of grabs you by the shoulders, like, "What are thou doing here?"
I turn around and actually I am surprised because I did not sense you pop up behind me, which is a thing that I'm pretty used to being able to do. And I take a bit of a fright. I'm just like, where did you come from?
From the dead. Now answer the question. What are thou doing here? Are you up to your old tricks again?
I actually like completely ignore that question. I'm like, from the dead. And then this is probably not my first time meeting a ghost, but I'm assuming that happens infrequently. So I maybe take a closer look at you, and I'm just like, oh, that's very interesting. You're not alive.
Thou hast not answered my question. This is not the first time thou hast been snooping where you should not have been snooping. Whatever I am is unimportant compared to what thou art doing.
Are you trying to shut me down by using that information that you have against me?
Yeah.
Sure sounds like it.
Okay, cool. How cold is Aphra? Very cold. Jesus Christ. Oh, I should have just rerolled. Oh, man. Oh, wow. That's terrible. Even with the +2, it's still just a 6.
Okay, so I hear that threat, but I kind of like actually push your hands off of me, and I say, "Oh, little ghost, I don't think you're in a position to be barking at anyone here, considering I may have just found the specter that's haunting Grace Baxter."
At that moment, speaking of Grace, she sits up, bolt upright in bed, and looks first at Aphra and says, "Ah, thou, my good spirit, sent again as an angel to watch over me. And thou," pointing at you, Fortune, "thou witch, thou temptress, thou enchantress." And she starts screaming loud enough that you can hear the pounding of her father's feet on the stairs.
Okay, it's let's see here. Did I? Oh, okay. I don't have a stuff for that. Okay. I'm gonna just like I'm gonna pull Aphra down onto the ground next to the bed with me, and I'm just gonna say, pray quickly. I don't know if you can, but pretend if you can't, just pray. And then I clasp my hands over the bed, and I start perfectly reciting psalms and prayers next to her bed.
Thou art in a situation of your own making, and I melt through the floor.
How dare you? I'm going to remember that.
Go on.
So in comes her father and John Baxter. And they look and they go, "Ah, Fortune, we heard her cry out horrible things. Art thou well?" She seems at peace again.
Does she? She just like immediately calmed down.
Yeah, she just sort of collapsed back on the bed.
Okay. Is it? I immediately just turn on the waterworks and I like start like doing this like really poor like distraught girl thing, and I'm just like, I don't know what happened. She started screaming and pointing at the walls. I think it's here. Oh, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. And I like run and I like hide behind him.
Okay, so poor John Baxter, of course, reaches out to comfort you and says, "Be of cheer, maid. I know that thou hast seen things such as this in Salem. Are you doing more than just turning on the waterworks here?"
I don't think I'm trying to seduce the guy with the possessed daughter right now.
This is her brother.
Oh, it's her brother. Oh wait, no, it's her hot brother.
Yeah,
Okay.
John.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna like cling like, to his tunic, but I'm just gonna be like, I'm so scared. This is why I left Salem. I don't know what to do in these situations, and I'm definitely gonna roll to turn him on. Also, I switched to my actual Monsterhearts dice, so I have a +1 hot, and that is a 4, 5. Oh, it's a 7. Oh,
7.
okay.
Okay, 7 is good. They could choose. Okay. Thou hast been such a good friend to poor dear Grace. I shall speak to thy mistress. It seems to me that it would be best, since you calm her so, if you were to stay under our roof.
Is it? I haven't had a chance to talk to Chastity yet, and I don't really know what's going on there. So, I think that I'm going to. I'm gonna like thank him very graciously, but like, oh no, I couldn't abandon Miss the Miss Chastity. She's all alone in that big house, and with nary a woman to take care of her.
Well, perhaps. Well, I shall speak to your mistress anyway. Perhaps you can be spared from some of your duties. It does Grace so well to have you here, and I'm sure you have wisdom gathered from your days in that
Oh,
dread place.
Oh, Mr. Baxter, your kindness knows no bounds. I just kind of like look piteously upon him, just like.
Okay. So speaking of chastity and mercy, yeah, let's put you guys together. Anybody have an idea how that could open?
Chassie's practicing a piano.
I like that idea. Except, of course, the Puritans hated music.
Oh yeah, good point.
How about we're on our way to go see Grace?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it in. So this might be the next morning. Good. So yeah, you're on your way to meet Grace, and you run into Reverend Wilkins, who's ambling along. Like, God be with you. Good morrow.
Good morrow, good Reverend.
Are you going to see poor Grace Baxter?
Yes, it is. It's nice for us to be able to visit her and bring her some fresh bread.
Miss Whitburn, John Baxter was telling me that your maidservant has been a comfort to Grace.
Oh, yes. Fortune is just a blessing to our household. Sure, as many undiscovered talent.
Well, she certainly comes from a place of experience, I suppose. Miss Pembleton, your family is devout, yes?
Oh, as devout as they come, good Reverend.
Yet you stand apart in meeting house.
How so do you mean?
I'm not sure I can say precisely, but, well, perhaps I get ahead of myself, but so that thou knowest, it is likely that our dear Reverend Moore will be departing this town, and in the hope that I shall be a fit for the position I have been offered, the pulpit in his absence. I would know the ways of this town, and your family, it seems to me, uh, being true Kingsporters from its founding, would be of help to me. He looks very confused and then very bashful.
Of course, good Reverend. That would be a welcome addition to our meeting house, and I look forward to your sermons. And if there's anything that that my family is able to do for you, you need only ask.
Well, yes, it does. It seems to me that God has shown his mercy and bounty upon your family, for they are so seldom sick when others fall ill.
Yes, I suppose we are blessed.
Well, I wish you well. Go down to poor Grace, and may your prayers give her some surcease.
Very well, Reverend. Good Reverend.
So, Grace is probably still asleep, but you're welcome to gather at the bed. As you pass through the room, you can hear John talking in hushed tones to his father, saying, "Yes, but we must find the witch. That is the main the heart of this matter."
Oh. Mercy, were you very close with Grace? I know she's the sister of John.
I wouldn't say. We were very close, but I do worry and care for her and wish her well.
Yes, strange this affliction. I guess there was something similar in Salem, he said, but has anything happened here?
Yes, I've heard the stories of Salem. I don't know what to believe. Grace, can you hear me?
It's thou, Mercy?
Yes, I'm here.
Where is mine angel?
Your angel.
She cometh in the form of Aphra Moore.
She's doesn't seem to be here. How are you feeling?
So she looks around and looks around again and looks around a third time. Fine, and how by thee?
I am well. I'm well.
I myself have been abed these 6 days. My father and mother bring me ribbons to distract me, and the tastiest of morsels. It is not so bad being witched.
And, Grace, if I could ask thee, what is it like? What is what's the bewitching feel like?
Well, it hath two components. The first is thou must wiggle thyself in such a way that it is easy to convince others that some monstrous force doth prick you and pinch you. And the second is to find she that bewitches you.
And who is bewitching you?
Well, I don't know. Who do you think I should say?
Who would you like to be bewitching you?
Well, there are many choices. Perhaps Kate Temple, or perhaps Verity Goodwin. No one will think good things of her.
And what can you do? Anything special, or does this bewitching give you any power?
It lets me lie abed and not do my chores.
I could use such power.
Perhaps thou should be witched.
Perhaps.
And who wouldst thou say witched thee?
Oh, maybe fortune.
Thy friend's servant. They say that servants were witches in Salem town. Perhaps it's true here too.
Yes, perhaps. But if you had seen what we had seen one week last
But,
with the woodsman.
well, to me, that didn't seem like devilry.
Okay, that's where to cut that scene. So speaking of Fear the Lord Wood, so Verity, what do your morning chores look like?
What do my morning chores look like? I think I am the first person up. I sort of like light the fire in the morning and sort of warm the house up. My mother is up early, usually has some young mother or expectant mother to go see. And my father similarly is up early and doing things. So my chores are mostly house oriented.
Good. All right, so you're going out to the well to fetch some water, and you see Fear the Lord come stalking out of the woods, axe slung over his shoulder, and good morrow, mistress.
Good morrow.
How fare thee witness into this God's day?
I fare quite well. Whither come thee?
He's not shirtless, but he does have his shirt open deeply. On a morn such as this, I like to walk in the woods and meditate on scripture. It is perhaps not as good as meeting, but I find that being in God's mercy and goodness to be inspiring. Art thou inspired on this morrow?
Verity was carrying a water bucket. She was going to go and get water. And at that moment, she turns from the direction she was going in, turns back to him, drops it on the ground, and walks straight up to him and says, "Tell me, which part of the scripture indicates that you should fornicate with young women in our woods?"
Ah,
Ah,
with yon young mistress Fortune.
indeed.
Tell me, what part of scripture, tell me what part of scripture is it that asks you to wander in the woods late at night, free from parent or the eye of God?
There's nothing wrong with a walk.
These woods are not innocent at any time, but at night least of all.
You haven't answered my question. What God-fearing man lays down young ladies in the woods?
A lusty man such as me.
She looks at him with absolute disgust and leans in and says, "I do not know what you're doing here, but I will find out. And you won't like me when I'm riled."
Well, dost thou know the German story of the young maid who went a-walking in the woods?
Ooh, is this the part where we threaten me?
Oh no. No, not at all. Just an axeman ends up being the hero of that tale. And he turns and heads to the woodpile. And at that moment, I think fortune should come toddling down the path.
That sounds great.
Oh, goodness. Cut the tension with a knife. My hunter's knife. No. I am just fuming. I am like my hands are clenching, and I'm like, oh, that traitorous vapor, that turncoat phantasm, how dare she?
I leave my water bucket where it is because to heck with chores, and I go rushing over to Fortune and say, "What has you so riled?"
Oh, I see Verity, and I almost put on my good face, and then I just drop it. I'm just like, oh, good, someone I can actually talk to. I found the spirit that is haunting Grace Baxter.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's the Reverend's daughter, Aphra. She is dead. She told me so herself when she appeared from nothingness in Grace's room and then disappeared again just as suddenly.
Oh, I know she's dead. She's been dead for a while.
I'm sorry, what?
I watched her die. It seemed rude to point it out.
Oh, that would have been, oh.
Should I have told you? I'm sorry. I didn't know if we were at that point where we shared our deepest secrets with each other.
I mean, not our deepest secrets. I thought I could trust you to share other people's deepest secrets.
You never asked.
Point taken.
Yes,
Well,
she's in the woods over there.
Oh, is she? I would love to have a word. Shall we?
Oh, I don't know if she'll be there, but we can go and look.
Let's do that.
Okay.
And
Go looking for Aphra. Why are you mad other than that she is dead?
she may have caught me doing a thing that you may have also caught me doing from time to time, which is, looking around for different thing.
Different.
Um,
Oh, okay.
she may have caught me snooping, being a little nosy about how someone such as the Baxters might live. I may have had a drawer open when she apparated into the space.
Why are you so interested in the Baxters?
I mean,
Other than that she's stricken.
I'm just very curious about it. That's the reason I had to flee Salem, was because witches were about. It was terrifying.
Yes, you witches are in fact terrifying.
Okay. How much of was that as much a come on as it looked like?
I mean, I'm into it.
I mean, go for it. Also, I'm pretty sure this was the first time that we've legitimately spoken that to each other. I mean, I'm just like, I'm totally lusty, but yeah, we did not come to terms about the fact that you eavesdropped on my witchy conversations.
No, not. So yeah, I'll roll to turn someone on. I'm fine with that. I forget what my hot is. What is my hot? Where's my thing? My hot is +1. So I roll a 7.
Well, you get to choose a reaction there, Fortune.
So, I think that at this point, I'm going to do something very unfortunate-like, and I'm just going to, you have just completely known what I'm talking about literally every step of this conversation. So I'm just going to get so flustered and so annoyed. I just finally place my hands on your shoulders and I take a deep breath and go, okay, obviously you know everything that's going on here. And I need your help.
I'm very good at helping.
Are you still trying to come on to me?
I mean, she has been for a while.
I mean,
If with Aphra's permission, I think this would be the exact moment for Aphra to stumble into the scene, or not stumble, but just appear. However you want to play it.
What is this?
I really
We're
my sex move. Just say.
See, the thing is, Aphra is actually looking for someone else. I was thinking, but I can stumble it in unless the two of you want to go further. Because
I think that Fortune's probably not in a place to like
do that
right now. Yeah, she's pretty like maybe if you hadn't like ghosted her like both ways, like she would have been okay with it. But
I'm getting twat blocked all over the place.
look, Aphra doesn't care at the moment. Actually, I think I'm also triggering a third move of hers, which is if I have the condition traumatized, I may act as though others had the condition at fault for my death. So she's not sympathetic to it. She doesn't feel sympathy for anyone at the moment.
Right. I was going to mention that you are almost certainly traumatized, having been reminded forcibly that you're dead.
Yeah.
So, do you want to be in here, or were you doing something else?
I was thinking Aphra's looking for chastity at the moment.
Okay, let's do that then.
It
shouldn't be too hard to find her.
Oh, is the scene with Fortune and?
Yeah, I think we can let that rest for a moment.
If it's okay with me, like just asking for a scene with chastity.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I had an idea of Chastity might do some praying or something, and you can come in to that maybe.
Okay. And where is she praying right
now? Let's see. Would it be appropriate to be praying in like the actual meeting house, or would you do that at home?
Probably at home.
Yeah, I might be doing that because I think Chastity sort of wanted to do some praying and search for some answers about things related to what she saw in the woods.
Yeah, and Aphra's been at Chastity's room. I think we settled that in the previous session before. So let's start with start with yourself praying. Like,
yeah, would it be appropriate to gaze into the abyss for that? Do you think?
What would? Yeah, actually, yeah. So you're trying to figure out sex. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
The humans haven't. Sure.
And I think specifically, like she wants to do that thing she saw somehow.
So what does that look like when you gaze into the abyss?
Yeah, I think she's just praying, and maybe she doesn't. Maybe this is almost, if not the first time, one of the first times she's actually prayed for something specific, like for answers for something, because she's just been mirroring other people, and now she's like, oh, I do have questions now that I think about it.
Roll them bones.
Oh wow, pretty good. 11 plus some, so quite good. Oh, my dark's really good too. So yeah, 13.
Okay, so
I know all about sex now.
Who is she planning to experience that with? I mean, the obvious answer would seem to be Fear the Lord Wood, but I'm open to suggestions.
I want to leave that open. She was really into both of those things going on. So oops.
Okay, let's see what we can do there. Okay. Why don't... Yeah, okay. So, what you get is two visions. The first is you see Fear the Lord Wood walking through the woods in the morning, watching the house and kind of intently watching Verity. And then a moment later, you see Verity very intently watching Fortune. And you'll get a +1 to figure out what you want to do with those folks when it comes to it. So, and I think this is the moment where Aphra finds you.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's right behind Chastity. This is becoming a thing now. And I think as a greeting, she just calls out her Chastity's name. Just calls out Chastity, Chastity Whitbourne.
And that she is sure adequately shocked by that. I think she just, because of the subject she was preying on, just instantly guilty. Like, oh, I was just praying for a bit. Did you need? Sorry, did you need help?
I come to thee with a warning, Chastity Whitbourne. Thou art not have been in this town for so long. And there are bedevilments afoot. Not just primarily what is haunting Grace Baxter. Her foul spirit taints her soul. I have suspicions, and I wish to share them with thee because thou might soon be a target in the future.
A target for bewitchment?
Yes. Mark that servant, Fortune Greenwood. She has been snooping around thy belongings before. I had caught it and thought it merely some sort of childish lark, but I caught her again. I mark her. I saw her snooping through Grace Baxter's belongings. She is set for devilry of most kinds, and she might have designs on you.
Interesting. Yeah, I think especially after that vision, Chesky would be like, no. Fortune has lived here for quite some time. My father trusts her without a doubt. She's done nothing wrong to me, and I can't assume that she would have any things on anyone else. I've only seen her do beautiful, glorious things to other people, and she's helped me quite a bit.
Thou shalt not believe your eyes as readily as you see how others act. And as a demonstration, Aphra kind of walks towards a wall and pushes a hand through a wall.
Trying to decide if that would terrify Chastity or not. That's pretty bad.
You know how I think we can figure that out? Because that sure as hell sounded like a shutdown to me. And since you blame everybody for your death currently, I invite you to take the +1 on that.
Okay. All right, rerolling that. Oh, come on! All right, these rolls are not working well. That's a 5. Wait, no, that's a 6. I'm going to spend a. Do I have a string on? Yes, I have a string on Chastity. I'm just gonna spend this now to bump this up to a 7. And
That makes sense to me, since you know that it's strangely difficult to frighten Chastity. It's strangely difficult to get any reaction from Chastity.
Yeah. And I
So-
think straight up trying to scare her counts for coming across poorly.
yeah, I definitely think. Well, I mean, I can't speak for you. It sure sounded like you were trying to give her the condition frightened.
Yes. I'm trying to turn her against Fortune.
Okay. So, I think Chastity, you're going to gain the condition frightened, but what's the condition we want to put on poor Aphra?
Um,
And also you have to choose one from this list.
That would be the one. That would be
Oh yes.
that you put a condition on her. I mean, you
Oh,
could
yes,
do
yes.
something different if you'd like.
No, yeah, I'll do yeah, she gets a condition.
And
Makes sense.
Chastity likes conditions. So
yeah, that's true. Let's see. I feel like the most significant part was that the hand through the wall, but I don't want to give you something like. Yeah, it would be a good one, like sorceress or something. That seems
Suspicious.
witchy,
What about like at wit's end, maybe?
though. Oh yeah,
Reckless.
Ooh, reckless. Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, that seems to fit in for sure. Aphra's been acting that way today.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. So that just happened. What do you do, Chastity?
Um, let's see. I think there's. Yeah, I am frightened in that. So, is it appropriate now to run away?
It's always appropriate to run away in Monsterhearts.
Yeah.
So why don't you take off?
Yeah.
I've never played Monsterhearts. I forgot that's a move.
Yeah. Me too. I was like, I think if I'm scared, I have to do something. Oh, I'm bad at that too. So it's
I mean, it's if you want to run away, we can treat it as run away. It otherwise it sure sounds like you're somehow doing something with it to keep your cool, but I'd have to know what it is you're doing.
I feel like she wants to get out of there. Like,
Okay.
yeah, that makes the most sense to me.
We'll roll with volatile.
Oh yeah, I'm just as bad at both of those. That's fine. Oops. Okay, there we go. A 9 minus. Okay, not bad. 8 still.
Cool. Your choice. Do you run into something worse? Do you cause a big scene, or do you leave something behind?
Oh, yeah, why do I want to do that? These are terrible things. Hmm. Let's see. Yeah, I'll cause a big scene. That seems most appropriate.
Okay, cool. Yeah, your father definitely sees you running out of the room, looking white as, well, a ghost. Comes storming in. Aphra, are you still there?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I just want to cause chaos. I'm so sorry to everyone else on this session. Just gonna.
No, this
I
is
think if you say
Keep
so.
going. Keep going.
Burn it
Okay,
all.
I think he sees her and she kind of like just puts a finger on the lips and walks out through the wall in full view of him.
Oh god.
I'm so glad I took that move.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So where do we want to go next? Do we want to check in on Mercy? I feel like Mercy should be talking with somebody. Perhaps Chastity. That would seem to follow. But maybe let's toss fortune into that mix too, because theoretically you work for Chastity, so.
So maybe it's the scene setting. Maybe this is downstairs in the Whitbourne house, and we have just heard Chastity screaming as I'm like pouring tea for Mercy on the couch or something. Like maybe that she was waiting for Chastity to come down from prayers. That sound good?
That sounds very appropriate.
Sounds good.
Do you put extra salt in your tea, Mercy?
Yes, I believe Mercy does take it with lots of sulfured sugar in it. But would you have some salt?
Salt? Yes, I can fetch some salt. And so I of course go and like bring that back and like set it down next to the tea, and I watch you kind of carefully.
Yes, it's a Pembleton tradition.
Does your brother take his tea that way as well?
Yes. Yes, he does. I couldn't help but notice you've been asking about him and eyeing him.
I think eyeing is a strong word, my lady. I am nothing but a servant girl. I want to learn more about the families here in this beautiful town that I call home now.
It's okay. Your secret is safe with me.
My secret. And I'm just like kind of like, oh my
I
God,
see the way
no.
you look at Alexander.
Oh, that's secret. Okay.
You look at him just like you looked at the wood guy. What was his name?
Oh, fear the Lord.
Fear the Lord. Fear the Lord would. You look at him much like you look at like you looked upon Fear the Lord would.
Okay, sorry. I kind of like peek around for a moment, and then I like squat down onto the floor and I say, Miss Pembleton, it is very hard for a woman in this world. And I think that if we women were to watch out for each other, maybe our difficult lives would be a little less difficult. Don't you think?
That seems totally the appropriate moment for Chastity to come running down the stairs.
Yeah, I think she's just sprinting, runs into. I'm going to assume that she just didn't know Mercy was waiting for her at all, and seeing Fortune there be a little surprising too. And I think she grabs Fortune actually, and she's like maybe just falls at her knees and just like, Miss Greenwood, I think I've seen something evil.
So, and I clasp your hands and I say, my lady, what have you seen?
That the young miss, the daughter of the minister, she came speaking evils of you, and then she moved through the wall. I don't understand. She said such terrible things.
Oh, Aphra Moore? Oh, I see. You should not believe anything she says. She is an evil spirit sent by the devil to tempt you against the people in this town who care for you and watch out for you. And I cling to your hands a little bit more. It's like, my lady, I would never do you harm. I care so much about you.
She's like, oh, no, I know you do. It's clear to me. I just don't understand how she was able to do such things. I mean, and then looking at Mercy, it's like, we know that witches aren't actually here and aren't possible, surely, but I don't know what my eyes saw, if I can even believe them.
Okay, so I think something needs to be done about Aphra Moore. Would you ladies care to help me?
Mercy's totally in. Yeah, she's very excited.
And yeah, I think Chastity's just like, oh, of course, anything.
I think that's a great place to end the scene.
Yeah. Okay. So Verity, what are you up to after your rencontre with Fortune?
So how did that end up? Did we just like wander into the woods and then part at some point, or?
That seems to be what happened.
So one thing though is I would like to just like level, just be like, hey, you've already pegged me as a witch. Obviously, you know a lot about the much more spiritual going-ons in this town than even I knew about, and I just really want you on my side. So I can't on that.
Anybody object to maybe we time jump to the evening and you go out and talk to Verity?
I'm cool with that.
Oh, sorry, did the internet drop? Was you talking to me or
just
the group?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I think I would be okay with a thing that I wanted to do earlier was I wanted to sniff around at the Baxters, like actually sniff.
That sounds like the perfect place for you two to meet. Yes. And you want to make your move, don't you?
I do want to make my move because I want to use heightened senses at night, so I have dark 3 to find out what the real evil is.
Well, that's if the moon is up, but the moon is up. So.
Okay, great. I appreciate that. I want to be bathed in moonlight, Yeah, so I'm going to, because I've been sniffing around this house for days and I just really want to know a few things. So I have dark 3, so I roll an 8. So I want to know who is in control here. And I don't know if that means like in the town or if it's just, is it just, sorry, what?
Okay. So, you want to know who's in control?
Like in control, is it Grace alone or is it like some demonic thing?
Yeah, you're not, I mean, I don't know that you would necessarily know what a witching smells like, but you know what this place normally smells like, and that's exactly what it smells like.
It smells like dark enchantment, like something bad.
Okay. No, it smells like Grace's normal house.
Like Grace's normal house. Oh, great, good.
Yeah, of course you do get that weird fishy smell from the Pembletons, but you always get that smell. So
So then my next question is, what is their secret weakness?
What is their secret weakness? Well, that obviously follows. You know for sure 100% Grace is faking.
Great. And
I don't know that you'd have evidence of that would work. I mean,
I mean, I'm a wolf. I'll just eat her. And then what's my best way into the house? Like covert way into the house.
They have a root cellar that is too small. The entrance, it has some kind of, I guess it wouldn't be a glassed-in window, but there's a small area that is too narrow for a person to get through, but maybe a hyper-flexible wolf could get
into it. So I think before I run into Fortune, I'm going to have a little talk with Mercy.
You going galumphing over to the Pembletons' house?
I mean, by galumphing, I mean gliding in very secretly and having her wake up to a wolf standing.
You mean Grace, not Mercy.
Grace stuff, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do have to transform, don't you?
I thought I was transformed when I got there.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're already a wolf. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's going to be the neat part about running into Fortune in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I think you can just do that. You're a wolf. So you crawl into the root cellar and then sneak up the stairs. It's evening, so people are, probably getting ready for bed. With your heightened senses, you can hear Grace's mother crying in her room and her father trying to comfort his wife. You don't smell John Baxter. He's not in the house.
Okay. Well, actually,
Uh,
that brings up a good question. Can I make myself understood in wolf form, or should I just stay human? Because I want to say something to her.
that's
And
an
I can't
excellent question.
And
I
I
don't.
can't transform back unless I hurt somebody I love or the sun comes up. So if I can't make myself understood.
Are you darkest self or are you just transformed?
No, she's just transformed.
Oh, okay, so darkest self is when the thing.
Yeah, darkest self would be different. That's when you can't control the change.
Cool.
Yeah, so you could probably change back into a human.
Okay, cool. So so she wakes
But a naked human.
a very naked human.
Just putting that out there.
It's gonna be weird for her. Okay, great. So she is going to wake up to a wolf crouching over her in bed. Instantly a human covering her mouth.
It's that fast? That's awesome.
Yeah. And so I cover her mouth and I lean in very close and I say, "You will stop faking or you will find my teeth in your throat."
You're a real witch.
I cover her mouth again. "I am a real witch and I will eat you."
Yeah, and there's no move. She just passes out.
Then I sneak back out and am leaving like
As a wolf.
As a wolf. And I run into Fortune. Fortune is secretly turned on somewhere. And I run into Fortune, I think either in wolf form or as I turn back into a human naked at the edge of my property. Fortune's up to you.
I just have one quick question for Fortune. Have you been trying to work with abstinence? I think the assumption we can make here is that with the town going nuts, it's been hard for you two to both get your duties to synchronize that you can sneak off.
Yeah, I think that's the case, but I think that considering that abstinence and I go way back and we're like, we're sisters of the night pretty much, that we are not going to try to throw each other on the bus. Like, I'm assuming our relationship back in Salem was good. I mean, we had a rivalry or whatever because, witch families, but that like we're not like out to get each other.
Okay.
At least that is the assumption I am operating under.
Cool. Is abstinence with you, or are you wandering around the night alone, or maybe you're on your way to abstinence?
So I was actually wondering if Chastity and Mercy were with me, because I did just kind of be like, we will destroy it. Like, we will destroy that ghost girl.
How's that sound to you guys?
Cool. Everybody wants to see Verity naked. Great.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I mean, we're all sisters here. Yeah. So,
Je vous invite.
yeah, but I'm assuming that actually I'm trying to get us all out under the moonlight to meet up with abstinence. And, a coven of 3 is powerful. A coven of 5 is even better.
Yeah.
That's perfect. All right. So yes, let's stage this in the woods then. So you guys have gathered in a moonlit clearing by the appropriate rock. And so how's this work for you? Chanting, getting naked, that sort of thing?
I think we do full skyclad. There might be some like creepy masks involved. I think I'd be down for that. Gotta have some evidence left over.
Yeah, a bonfire, I think. Cool. All right, so that's what attracts you, Verity. You're walking along and you get a weird smell in the air, and then you hear the sound of people chanting. You creep up to the edge of the firelit circle and you see everybody dancing around a bonfire.
And since everyone's already naked, I don't really think much of just walking naked out of the woods.
I immediately cross over and I say, I see you came dressed for the occasion.
I find myself rather accidentally in the most appropriate attire. What are you doing?
I am getting rid of the problem in Kingsport. We are going to get rid of Aphra Moore.
But the problem isn't Aphra.
She's bewitched the Baxter girl and has her saying all sorts of terrible things about me, and I cannot be discovered.
I lean into you and grab you by the arm urgently and say, she hasn't bewitched anyone. That girl was faking.
I think Chessie will butt in and say, like, this Aphra just walks, put her entire arm through my wall.
Yes, because she's dead.
Does everyone know she was a ghost but me?
I saw her die.
I just found out.
Thank you, Mercy.
But Grace was only making those things up and pretending to be possessed, and I just silenced her.
Permanently?
You silenced her. How so?
Just a few very appropriate threats.
Did you tell me you're a werewolf, or did I? Okay, cool. I'm glad we have this open and transparent relationship here.
The only person that knows that so far is Aphra.
Oh, yeah. That doesn't change the fact that Aphra Moore is out to get me.
I mean, Aphra is a sad and very dead young woman who saw you doing things that she thinks are questionable.
From what I've seen, Aphra has been doing things that are very questionable. She's endangering all of us.
By being dead?
By being so...
Yeah, I think Chessie's gonna again butt in and especially get her nude body close to Fortune and say, like, yes, Verity, she came into my own house and was saying such evil things about our good friend Fortune.
And did you also tell everybody about like walked through a wall in front of your father? So like now the entire village knows.
Oh. Yeah, we should probably talk to her about that.
Or we could do something more permanent.
Are you suggesting that you're going to lay her to rest?
She's already died. This is just the next step for her.
How do we do that?
All you have to do is sign your name in my little book here.
And that will get rid of the ghost?
I mean, there is a little bit of a dance and a little bit of a chant and a small matter of a small blood sacrifice, but I'm sure that something will come along conveniently soon.
We don't have to find her bones and burn them? Or anything like that?
That is a very specific knowledge there, Mercy. How did you know that that's one way to rid a ghost?
Well, I didn't for sure until now.
Yes.
Let's get started. I'm excited. Let's do this.
So, is abstinence here yet? Or, like, is she gonna...
Oh, yeah, no, it's my assumption absence has been here for a while.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I'm just like, so she's also dead.
Well, I will leave you whatever this is.
Are you sure you don't want to stay? 4 is great, but 5 is better.
I don't give myself to anyone, and I'm not signing a book with my blood.
But then I guess we'll have to try to keep our promise another night.
And I leave, and then I'm just kind of got like I walk into the bushes, and then you don't see me anymore.
I'm just like, I'd like to learn that trick.
Why did she come naked if she doesn't want to participate?
I'm not terribly sure. I'm still trying to unknit all of Verity's mysteries. Okay, let's get to hexing.
Okay, that seems like an appropriate Act 1 break. Why don't we take a short break and be back in about 5 minutes or so? And then I think we'll check in on Aphra, who the noose is now drawing tight around. All right, folks, I'll see you shortly. Yeah, so let's check in on poor Aphra. Where are you, Aphra, after you did your little show and tell?
Oh, yeah. I think she's. The only thing I can think of right now is she's going back to Grace Baxter to check up on her.
Grace is having a rough night.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so as you approach the Baxter household, you can see that that some people have lit lanterns and candles inside, and you can hear people talking downstairs, but it's easy enough for you to materialize in Grace's room.
What's Grace doing right now?
She's in bed. She's got a candle lit. She's reading her Bible the family Bible, just going slowly down a couple columns with her finger.
I think I rushed her and just called, Grace, are thou okay?
Art thou truly an angel?
I claim not to be. I only want to help.
Oh, Aphra, forgive me my wickedness. I'm such a sinner.
You are no sinner in mine eyes. You are nothing more than a target, than a victim. You've done nothing to have these evilness subjected upon you. I think I know the culprit.
There was no culprit. I was lying. I made it all up so that I could lie abed and have my mother and my father show affection on me as they would my brother. But oh, Aphra, witches are real. They're very real.
She says this. Aphra was kind of leaning close to her, but she hears this, and she's oh my god, the poor thing. She's kind of backing away, and she's like, Hast thou been bedeviled once more?
Tis Verity Goodwin. She is a witch. She came into my chamber as a dread creature. Perhaps it was her familiar. I know not. I know not these things. Oh, Aphra, thou art a good spirit, art thou not?
I think Aphra she just has to laugh, like I'm laughing right now, just like a very tired good spirit. I she is at complete loss, and she knows Verity is a werewolf as well, so she knows that's true, and so that means so she knows Grace is telling the truth now. It's like for just like, thou art not bedeviled, thou art just... If I am as goodly a spirit as you want me to be, what would thou want me to do?
So, Aphra, as you say that, suddenly you hear a voice downstairs that you recognize. It's because it's your father's voice.
Ooh. Is he coming up?
No, he seems to be in a bit of a shouting fight with John Baxter and Mr. Baxter.
I think if Grace doesn't respond, Aphra is gonna shout what she said again. What would thou want of me, as your goodly angel? Think loud enough that people downstairs can hear.
Yeah, there's a sudden silence downstairs. And then you hear the tramp of male footsteps coming upstairs. Grace is looking around like, this. Perhaps thou shouldst not be here.
Is that what you would want of your goodly angel?
I wish my angel to defend me from the witch, but
I was always going to do that. But ah, God, and she's lost it, and she's just like, she doesn't know if she wants to talk to her father, or just like, there's, and she wants to cry. She really wants to cry. Can ghosts cry? Probably not, or because that would be even crueler.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Yes, and I think she'll take Grace's leave for now.
Okay. I think I actually do need you to make a runaway roll.
Oh, okay. Oh dear. That is an 8.
An 8. Excellent. Which one do you want?
I don't know. How can I run into anything worse?
Oh, I have plenty of ideas.
You know what? Let's do that. I've caused enough of a big scene.
Okay. So you dematerialize, pop out, and head for a place that probably gives you comfort, the cemetery. And as you come among the gravestones, you see there's a man sitting on top of one. He's holding a staff. He's got a bag slung over his shoulder. And he looks up and he smiles and he seems to be quite not there doesn't seem to be too much anything creepy about him besides, sitting on a tombstone in the middle of the graveyard in the moonlight. Like, art thou feared, child? Sit thee down. Yes, he's wearing a shirt. He's an older gentleman with a long beard and long hair.
Good sir, hast thou not heard? Kingsport is afoul with spirits and witches.
Well, perhaps that be so, but there's no reason for you to take fright.
Is there not? I suppose naught else can hurt me than Aphra sits down.
I think let's cut back to... Mercy, you have a family, right?
Family of deep ones.
Yes, indeedy. So I think when you come stumbling back from the woods, and sneak into the house, the lantern. So all the curtains in the house are drawn, but you can see that they've got lanterns lit, and your brother and your mother and your father are sitting around the table, and they look up when you come in, and like, Mercy, where were thou?
I was helping. I was helping Chastity.
Helping. Well, actually, that might work. Hast thou heard the news of the evening?
Uh, which news does thou speaketh of?
Well, Justice Whitburn saw Aphra Moore walk through a wall, clearly coming to his daughter in spectral form. I of course say daughter, but passing by that, Verity Goodwin appeared in the form of a great beast in the chamber of poor Grace Baxter.
Oh my.
Yes, these are dark times. So, when times get dark like this, our our kind is apt to be swept up in it.
And undeservedly so.
We agree, but people grow afeared of difference in these days.
What shall we do, Father?
I am of mind that we should pursue two strategies, and they are convergent. Therefore, they should be easy enough for you to pursue, daughter mine. Thou shouldst be an accuser.
An accuser? An accuser of who?
Verity, Aphra, anyone else you think is likely to be swept up and is easy to cast a wicked eye on. Think thou of the child of some family that has generated resentment in this town. The lessons we have heard from Salem town are accuse early and accuse often. It is the best defense. The second is, well, with his own daughter accused of being a witch, the Reverend Moore's position is untenable in this town. Therefore, I ask that you find a way to bring the Reverend Wilkins closer to our family.
I see.
If the Reverend be on our side, it'll be harder for the shadow of doubt and accusation to fall upon us. Do thou these things, daughter mine, or we shall never see the water.
I shall do it with haste.
Do not betide thyself over much. It is a fearful thing for anyone to be out, but especially a young lady with her dress disordered. So, I wish not to know. I wish not to know. Look thou to be more careful, and look thou to watch the company thou keepest.
Of course, Father, of course.
Thou have been seen oft with Fortune Greenwood. The girl comes of Satan. Well, of Salem, but let's just say Satan too.
Do we know that for sure, Father?
Does it matter?
I suppose not.
She will either accuse or be accused. For a daughter of Salem, there is no other option currently. Look thou to this, daughter. Now get thee rest. All of us shall be on our guard in the morrow.
Yes, Father.
So I'm pretty sure that's triggering some moves for you.
Yeah, my failing dynasty, I think.
Yep.
If I do the bidding of my family, I take one forward to doing it. My family member gets a string on me.
I don't think I have your father, so. Oh wait, you gave him his name.
Whenever you help your family regain some of their former glory mark experience.
Obadiah Pembleton.
Obadiah Pembleton.
Yes.
Oh, I do have him. Yeah, so that's 3 strings he's got on you. That's fun. That's fun. Okay. So let's check in with Fortune and Chastity.
Question though, real quick.
Sure.
Is Grace just shouting that I turned into a wolf, or is she actually scared enough to keep her mouth shut? Does Templeton just know things, or is it going around?
That's a good point. We could theoretically rewind that.
Yeah, because I felt like the point of threatening her was like, don't say anything.
Let's do a retroactive shut them down move, because I should have actually called for it there.
Okay. Roll with cold. What's my cold? Oh, it's a -1. Yes, I rolled a 10.
That's good. On a 10. Okay, so I guess you want to put the condition like shut your mouth or something like that. Too afraid to talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Too afraid to talk. And then
so we'll rewind that slightly.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
fine.
like, I was kind of okay with the deep ones knowing that about me. Like, it's fine, but it going around town seems like a lot.
Yeah, I didn't say whether or not they knew you're a werewolf. They may well know you're a werewolf.
They're deep ones. Who knows?
Okay, Grace Baxter.
And they give me. Oh, I got a 10. I got a 9, right? Because I have a -1.
Oh, okay.
So,
you don't have a string on Grace, right?
I don't know. So I come across poorly, and they give me a condition in return. I already came across poorly because I threatened her naked in her bed.
This is fair.
And so I don't know what my condition should be, though.
Yep, that works for me. How does that work for you?
Condition, monster.
Yep.
Cool. I'm amazing.
So,
thanks, friends.
Chess.
What you were gonna do?
Oh yeah, no, that should be fine. But that was a good catch. Thank you. So Chastity and Fortune. How'd the right go?
So, from my perspective, it totally went off without a hitch. We did our naked chanting, we did our dancing, and then like a random stranger came through and we sacrificed him, and it was great. What I need to know though is whether or not Chastity.
Wait a minute, what? What was that third thing?
Yeah, no, I was just like, we need probably like had to slaughter something. So it could be like a random passerby. It could be like a bird that came down and offered itself up. Like definitely some black magic flavor.
Maybe a goat?
Yes, a goat walked up and offered its belly to us, and we totally tore it to shreds. And I need to know if Chastity and Mercy signed my little black book.
Oh yeah, I think Chastity would be hesitant and maybe like holding the book, say like, oh, and then after we sign is when we get to the other ritual, the ending one that I had seen in the woods. You do.
We can get to that later if you so wish.
Mercy,
Okay.
John Hancock the shit out of your book.
Well, she just went straight for it.
Yeah.
Good to know. All right.
An
so
Enochian? I mean, not every girl knew how to write.
True. So I would say that Mercy is definitely in my clique now, which is also my coven. Just, I'm gonna count on that one. But like, there's some question. Did Chastity sign, or did she fake that she signed?
I feel like yeah, if you convince her that you're gonna do the special ritual afterward, she'll basically do whatever. I don't know if that counts as using a stringer or what.
I don't think I actually have strings on chastity. No, I do have a string on chastity. And actually, well, we're kind of leaning a little bit into that vision that you had, maybe. Well, I wasn't.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm totally down for saying, like, if everyone's cool with it, it could also just be like a magic orgy.
If it's a magic orgy, then we can trigger some sex moves.
Yes, we can.
Bing, bang, boom. Yeah.
and
Hey, for those of you watching at home, it doesn't have to be sex in Monsterhearts 2. This sure seems to me to qualify as a moment of intimacy. So, what's everybody got for that?
So, but did Obadiah know that, like, that kind of thing might have been going on?
What kind of thing?
Well, so my sex move makes if my family knows, or if my family finds out, where's my sex move here? If my family learns that I've had sex with someone, that person becomes part of my family's failing dynasty. If they're a main character, they add the move to the failing dynasty move to their sheet.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, he knew I was out with Chastity and probably Fortune.
I did get called out by name.
Yeah, I think maybe the delayed onset will happen, but they're gonna smell the salt on Fortune soon. So, okay, that's fun. That's a fun thing that just happened. This will work out. Don't worry, being an accused witch who's a member of a Deep One family, that'll work out great.
What could possibly go wrong?
This is fine.
What's Fortune's move? Oh, you get the sympathetic tokens from people. That's good. And what's the Hollow's move?
The Hollow, just reading it now, it's kind of like the dating game. When you have
That's right.
when you have sex with someone, both players secretly write down whether the sex was confusing or soothing for that character. If you reveal the same answer, both characters mark experience. And luckily, they have a little.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes.
There's more than one person having sex, so just I guess both of you write down if it was confusing or soothing to you, and if any of them match what I wrote, then 0 to 3 of us can get XP for that. Okay. So yeah, do you want to do it in chat or reveal it on the camera?
Yeah, reveal on the camera on your note card.
Oh, absolutely. And for those of you watching at home, yes, I put the dating theme in post.
I don't know why, but I didn't think it would be that easy. But
all right. Bachelorette number 1.
All right, should we all reveal at the same time?
Sure.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Soothing, and
Confusing. Oops, no one gets experience, I guess.
Speaking of experience, I think you get at least one more for failing earlier, Fortune.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Even your magic 6s.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, you guys are finally at home.
I kind of just real quick need to resolve my move. So I need to know what I took from Mercy and what I took from Chastity. So I already have Mercy's Dagon scroll, but I get a second thing now.
What would she have had that would have been valuable? A little Pisces pendant.
Oh, y'all stay really on brand, don't you?
How heretical.
And then Chastity, what item did you give Fortune that was of sympathetic value to you?
Hmm. Maybe I'll try and go wholesome and say like, oh, this was a ribbon that my father says was from my mother, or I suppose aunt.
And a ribbon from her mother. And then I just want to clarify something. Did I ever walk out of Grace Baxter's room with anything? I don't think I did. I know that's a while back, so.
I think for your sins you earn a sympathetic token from Grace. Let's make it a nice pink ribbon.
Ribbon. Okay. All resolved. Oh, and I guess abstinence too. Like,
You guys have sympathetic tokens on each other? Because that's the only way that happens.
yeah. No, we've already totally traded sympathetic tokens, so.
Abstinence. I think he probably just did this thing where she sees you like, yes, just cuts off a lock of her hair and hands it to you.
And then I return the favor because hair is such a powerful magical token.
And
Okay.
doesn't abstinence get something from chastity and mercy also?
Let's not overcomplicate this.
Okay.
We'll just say she's got something.
She's got something. Maybe she took care. I don't know. So you guys finally, you are at home. And Justice is, what was this? What's the last name? Justice Whitburn is still up, has a lantern lit. So yeah, just so I point this out, having a lantern lit this late at night is unusual. Most people are asleep. Also, it's a tremendous fire hazard, which is another reason not to do it. He sees you two come in and just, God be praised, where were you two?
I immediately cut in, and I'm just like, Lord Whitburn, we were beset. We were beset by the evil spirit of Aphra Moore. She came upon us in her spirit guise and tormented us. That's why our clothes are so torn and sundered.
Wilt thou swear to that?
I wouldst swear, my lord.
You will.
I tried to protect your daughter with all I had.
You will have to swear to it, child.
Of course.
These are dark days. If Satan can strike into the heart of our own dear Reverend's household, none of us are safe.
Did she go to the Reverend too, Father?
We have spoken to the Reverend Moore, and we have spoken to John Baxter Sr. and Jr. There seems nothing else for it. We shall have to send for a justice. There will be accusations, and there shall be a trial. Now, speak to me clearly, daughter of mine. Hast thou seen this spectral being?
Yes, I did. Just earlier this evening. If it wasn't for Fortune, my good friend, and I think she like touches her hand or something, does something inappropriate, I would have been scared out of my wits.
Fortune, you're dismissed.
Of course.
Go out to thy room. It's not really a room. It's like the attic loft, but
Oh, it's somewhere. It's fine.
Curl up under the stairs.
Chastity. I would keep thou from ever stepping foot in this trial.
There's a trial with the justice? I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand.
There will be trials. There will be witnesses and spectral evidence will be accepted. But thou, dearest child of my heart, thou art vulnerable in this case.
I think she just doesn't really know what he's talking about. Like, oh no, I would dream of going to the court.
Thou dost not remember thy childhood, yes?
No. Thou said, what's the miracle?
Thou wert. Thy father hath made bargains. One was to bring thee into this world. I am greatly afeared that if this were discovered, we both would hang.
But I thought that the ritual to bring life was something that the Lord appreciated.
There is that which the Lord loves, and there is that which human justice shall mete out.
Um, I feel Chastity's utterly confused. Like internally, I'm thinking she's like, "Oh, did the ritual to bring life the thing that I just did?
Oh God.
Am I bad now?"
Would you like to take the condition confused?
Yeah, that seems appropriate.
I am totally down with that. So, let's cut over to Aphra down in the cemetery. So the jolly old stranger looks at you. Why art thou so afraid, child? Or no, it's not fear. Thou art angry.
I have been beset by so many things, good sire. I've been left with nothing but a need to have this town torn asunder for what has been beset me.
Ah, wow. Traveled a great deal in this world, and I've oft made my way through these woods and small towns of New England. New England. And yet they have brought so much of the old with it. Well,
My father called this place a. My father described this place as a way to cultivate purity for God's chosen to remain good. But I fear thou art correct.
well, it is a cold hard fact that temptation doth stalk us all. Well, not me so much, but people.
Dost thou think yourself pure?
Hardly.
Then what art thou, then, if not pure?
Huh? What am I? I am such that I understand that the only true purity is mixture. All beings of flesh are a mixture of angel and devil and pure unthinking matter. And entropy doth hold all of us in its grip.
Wouldst thou that Kingsport knew that lesson as well? Wouldst thou that I had known that lesson before seeking temptation?
It seems to me, child, that thou art in some straits.
My mind is as clear as it ever been. I wish nothing but ruination upon this town, by whatever means.
So, just to cut a second, Verity, you said you would be sniffing around for Aphra?
Yeah, well, I'm really concerned. Because I
One
think
quick
she might
one question though. Aphra doesn't smell like anything, right?
No, so I'm just looking for her. I mean, unless she does smell like something.
But wouldn't that count as like if you're smelling for an absence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Sure.
Cool
Why don't you?
finding her. Like, if you want to have your own thing, it's cool. But she's my friend.
I mean, I don't know where this is going, so but
Yeah.
So Fortune, if you want to use the hex, you can.
So yeah, I think would probably like I'd go up to my upstairs little attic and I would be holding Verity's cameo, and I'm just like worried because we did not end on the best of terms, and I'd really like to take a peek in on her and see what's going on in her life.
All right, let's just get that roll real quick, and then I think we'll put Verity in the cemetery.
Great.
Oh, that's a 14.
Oh, jeez.
14.
All right, so this works easy. You just roll them back into your little straw pallet with your eyes rolled up, and yeah, cool.
You get a little
Okay.
confused when the first thing you see is a red wolf.
So the old man looks at you and says, "Oh, your friend's here. Hello, child of the forest."
I lope up in wolf form and then transform into my human body.
Fare thee, maiden.
Verity?
I fare well. Who art thou?
Me? I'm a messenger.
From whom?
Oh, not from anybody. I'm a messenger. I wander these woods and byways and deliver such news as is necessary for the recipient.
She like edges up so that she's like very close to Aphra, like protectively, and then says, "Someone means you harm."
Doesn't everyone?
They're trying
I'm
to
tired
beat you, and I don't know if it's going to work because I don't understand witchcraft.
I'm so tired. Verity? Does it just get tiring? I just want it all to... What message do you bring us, then, old man?
I bring no message to you directly, save if thou art tired, thou couldst rest.
Wouldst ideally loved rest, but I must.
But you wish to enact a terrible vengeance upon those who have wronged you. Well, perhaps not wronged is a strong word. The thing about being a messenger, my dear daughters, is that one learns shortcuts. I am in the business of shortcuts. So, Aphra, my daughter, my dearest and charming girl, thou wouldst have a black fit upon this entire town, wouldst thou?
The whole town?
Yes, I want the town cracked open and everything dark and twisted, rigging inside to face the world entire.
Wouldst thou give me the liberty to do this in mine own way?
She steps between the two of you and looks at Aphra and says, "But would that not include me? What about the things that are not of the light but that are not of the darkness?"
Wouldst thou purchase an immunity?
I want nothing with you.
Want is want. But once I'm involved, child of the forest, I'm involved.
Are we going to say something? Verity?
I will decide for myself once I know what Aphra's intent is.
Suit thyself.
Aphra's looking at Verity because they've not been thinking straight. They've actually forgotten about Verity at this point. and I think Aphra says, "Thou, Verity, thou art so good and so kind and smart and wily. I believe thou art better than this town. This town of devils, inhuman and tainted flesh. Thou need not stay here.
Where would I
Thou,
go?
anywhere, anywhere. Thou art in such. Thou art have the ability to just. It's not only me who can leave. Thou art can. You are of both this human world and the forest world. You can flip between both.
Not that easy.
But it's still a thrill, isn't it? It's still good.
If you're going to bring a curse down on this town, I can't not protect the people that I love. And I would count you among them if
Thou love is wasted on me. I am close to done. It's too many heartbreaks, too many betrayals. One can only want to exist for so long. But I can't. But I don't want rest. I won't find rest until my going is not answered for.
Verity places her hand on your shoulder and then looks back at the stranger and says, "What would immunity cost me?"
Cost? Well, it's not a one-time transaction, child of the forest, but he opens up his bag and takes out a large leather-bound book. First step is sign thou in my book. It actually means nothing. Them that I serve and serve as soul for care not for anything of this nature, but for me it helps to bind the contract.
And what will I be bound to if I sign?
The mischief will come to this town, and it may be that you will fit into my plans, but as signatory, it shall benefit thee in the end. Or, if thou carest not for that, thou couldst purchase a similar Passover for the goodly Goodwins, them that kept thee when they found thee in the forest, so cold and so lonely. Or, perhaps, thou wouldst know thy ancestry.
Must I pick only one?
Hmm?
Must I pick only one?
That depends upon the service.
I would protect my parents and know my history.
Sign thou.
She does.
Ah, sweet, sweet Verity, 'tis so good to have thee in my service again.
Again.
Well, perhaps again it's not strictly speaking accurate, but then it was your fate, ever your fate. Be that as it may, we shall speak more on why your ancestry made this moment inevitable.
Okay.
As for thou, Aphra Moore, wouldst thou have rest? Wouldst thou have vengeance? Wouldst thou have protection? For, assuredly as the sun shall rise tomorrow, they shall hunt thee.
They're hunting nothing, naught but a spectre. And Aphra's looking at the two of them, at Verity, especially because she heard all that. And Aphra's like, once I longed thee to be of the dark. I sought anything, any escape. I sought to be strange. And I have become strange and wicked, but only the dullest sort, the most mundane sort. It seems that it seems I'm shaped for nothing more than vengeance. Yeah, signs that.
Excellent. So, this be my message to thou. Go this night, before the cock crows, visit whom thou likest, and they shall have a taste of the true coldness beyond the grave. So who do you visit?
It's got to be my father.
Fair enough.
Unless that was going to happen anyway.
Yeah, I'm interested in the player characters you visit, but
Oh,
we
okay,
can
yes,
totally
yeah.
do
I'm
your
trying to
father
think.
as well. I just got to
Well-
think for a second about how that's going to work.
Well, yeah. If not my father, because I just thought a bookend would be nice. But if he's gonna pop up at the ending scene anyway, then
You can totally visit him. What I'll do is I'll consider that'll be considered shutting him down with a 12 plus.
yeah, I didn't even think of player character. Because if Aphra's gonna visit a player character, it would just be Fortune, and we just to taunt her.
Okay, that's easily arranged. I deal in shortcuts. Okay, so yeah, Fortune, you're watching this through Verity's eyes, except you have trouble seeing who they're talking to. You know they're talking to someone, but you're not sure who.
I was wondering about that. So is it just like is there even a person there, or do I just kind of see like a floating book? Do I
It's
recognize
just sort of
that?
fuzzed out. You don't even see the book.
Okay. Do I hear any of what he says?
You hear about signing a book. That part you definitely hear. The rest is sort of scratchy and fuzzy.
Okay. Do I hear everything else the others said?
Oh yeah, 100%. Your magic works great.
Okay. So basically, so I kind of know that like shit's about to go down, but I don't really know the specifics of it. And I've also just witnessed, Verity sign in the book when she wouldn't sign in my book, and so I'm taking that a little personally.
Listen, you didn't offer me anything.
I didn't know I had to. I thought I was the offer. So, no, I'm gonna wake up like absolutely terrified and drenched in a cold sweat, with the fear of whatever lies beyond the veil in me.
Sounds like the cue for Aphra to suddenly materialize.
Yeah, this time right in front, not.
Just like right over me. So, yeah, so I look up at her and I whisper, "What have you done? What have you done?"
I have brought all of thee out to the light.
We were fine where we were. So we were making a living. We were doing what we wanted. Look at everyone you're going to hurt. I know you owe me nothing, but the others, but Chastity, but Mercy, but all the people who've shown you kindness, even that Baxter girl, Grace, everyone, you're still going to.
Is that what you call what I have been given? kindness, you would have me be just swept aside to save your own skin, you and everyone else in this accursed town. This is just the beginning. This is all of you facing up and just being dragged out and being forced to truly find out what you would do to survive.
I raise
So,
my hand.
Fortune, you go into darkest self.
Okay, that's what I kind of wanted to do because
Yes.
I'm full on like I'm gonna like raise my hand and I start hexing immediately. I want to cast illusions on Aphra, and I want to like just like I'm gonna go down guns blazing basically. And that's I rolled a 6 plus my dark of 2, so that's an 8. So and when I cast hexes and they're only a partial success, that means that on a 7 to 9 it works, but I choose 1. The casting does myself 1 harm. The hex has a weird side effect where it triggers my darkest self. Can I just like loop those things right there? It's like it was originally self-defense, but now I'm gonna go darkest self here, or should I?
The darkest self is a supernatural effect from outside.
Okay. Okay.
I
So
think
then
I need to pick
the
one.
hex has weird side effects for sure. Like it's all of my magic's gonna go super wonky.
So what's the illusion you're casting?
So illusions is I pick 1: snakes and bugs, demonic visages, false prophecies, or non-existent sound text. And so I think that at this point, right now, what I really want is I would love like demonic visages of every single person that Aphra is about to wrong. Follow her around, become like a cacophony of voices like looming over her.
Okay, so weird side effects, huh?
Yeah.
You hear that cacophony of voices surrounding Aphra, and Aphra, we'll get to you in a second. Here's the problem, Fortune. That you're hearing way more voices than you bargained for. You hear them downstairs, you hear them coming from the house next door, and you see lights start to start being lit all around the town.
Oh no, what have I done? That's amazing. Oh, yes. Okay.
You are a powerful witch.
So like I'm just I'm darkest self, so actually I'd probably go downstairs and just walk out the door and start walking around the town, listening to all of the din around me and like the screaming of everyone, and I'm kind of loving it. I mean, I think my eyes probably go black and they're just like completely gone.
Oh,
Shirtless. No, not shirtless.
I think nightgown though. That's more than risque enough.
Yep.
Yeah, beautiful. Aphra, what do you do after that? Now that you know what this. Now that you know what this does.
I think like I think I kind of see what everyone's kind of what like their darkest selves would look like, because now that or maybe even with demonic version, then it's swimming Aphra's vision. The din's on her, and she's kind of just. I think this is kind of like the first time, yeah, and very so remind me, what did Verity purchase? It was protection for.
Yeah, Verity's immune from this. She
Yeah.
purchased immunity.
Yeah, but I don't.
Her darkest self is just like a murderous machine.
Oh yeah. No, I was hoping you wouldn't sign the book for that reason, but this will still work out.
Yeah, I think these are just such visions, and I don't think Fortune knew. And Fortune's hex was just, here are the people she thinks you've wronged. Kind of. So I think this is the
see Verity like in pain or suffering.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing, right?
Say that again. Sorry.
Because that's what you're doing, right? Is like you're condemning the whole town, and I'm part of the town.
Yeah.
So I'm either suffering because I'm hurt or because the people that I love are dying.
Yeah. I think this is yeah. This think Aphra kind of realizes kind of what she's done that and just lets out a really loud scream. It's like, hey, I'm not gonna do it. There's people sleeping out here, but it's a loud wail. It kind of pierces through the rest of the din. It's kind of like, yeah, things are coming.
Do you visit anyone else?
um, hmm, hmm. Does anyone want to visit? Because either that, because
I feel like we kind of said our goodbyes already. We could do more if you wanted, but like,
yeah, I think we kind of said goodbyes because like I don't really. There's no, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know why would they. No, I said I'm thinking of the other PCs. I don't know why. I don't know if Aphra would visit Chastity or Mercy. Hmm. No, I think. You think? I think maybe. No, no. I think we're. I think that's it for now. No, that's it.
Cool. If you want to take one of the shut somebody down moves on your father, I'm totally down with that too.
Okay. Which one? So did I choose one of these to
Yep.
inflict on them?
Oh yeah.
I guess I. Well, I think it's a condition.
Okay.
Like, what would their mindset be right now? They're
About damned.
yeah, damn.
Okay, good. Yeah. So Puritan towns don't have church bells, but in the morning there's a crier going around town yelling for everyone to come to meeting.
Awesome.
Yeah. So let's have this big reunion scene.
awesome.
Cool. So everyone staggers in, clearly having had the worst night of their lives. And yeah, so the Reverend Moore tries to get up to the pulpit, but several people, including the Baxters, kind of stand in his way. That's the first thing anybody's going to see. Anybody want to do anything?
Yes. I think as soon as that happens, Mercy kind of, from across the room, points over at the Baxters, at Grace, and yells, "Witch! She's a witch! The Baxters, they murdered Aphra and rose her from the dead and turned her into a spirit, a walking spirit. Witches! Witches! They're all witches!"
Grace starts shouting, "How can I be a witch? I was witched! And I know who the witch is!"
A lie! They made her pretend to be bewitched. She was never bewitched. It was a cover. It was a cover because they're witches.
That sure sounds like you're shutting someone down there.
Come on here. Big money, no whammies. That's a 9, but I think what is my called? 10, 11. That's an 11.
Okay. You're gonna do that thing without getting anything in return. Which one you want?
Let's see. So I think Grace Baxter could, because I'm specifically shutting her down, I guess. Right?
I think so.
Oh, it's actually a 12, but that doesn't get me anything on this because I have the +1 forward from my father telling me to do it. Yeah, I think I want to give give Grace Baxter the condition liar.
Okay.
Poor Grace has a lot of conditions.
Poor Grace.
I hate her, so it's fine.
But at this point, Justice Whitbird rises and shouts, "And Aphra Moore! She is a witch as well!"
And
Apparently nobody rises to her defense.
I think I do. I'm immune, so I don't have any fear of it, right?
But no, I think I see you rise up, and I just rise and just kind of give you a look, and it's like, no. What do you accuse me of? Lay all my supposed sins out.
That you are a witch, that you sent Satan's demons to torment the town, that you bewitched Grace Baxter, that you attempted to bewitch me and my daughter.
And our servant.
Damn. Cold.
Oh, that's cold. And I think Aphra is kind of beyond caring. She can't see any of this. All she sees are... Is that ongoing, actually? The hex?
No, let's say that expired at dawn.
Okay.
One other thing is like, am I there? I kind of thought like I would not be there because I went off and did my own thing. Except I want to make kind of like a dramatic entrance.
Oh, I'm down for dramatic entrances. You would be expected to be in the gallery, though actually sometimes I think servants did sit in the pew, so it's up to them, I guess. Yeah, if you want to make a dramatic entrance, that's totally okay. So probably people are looking around like, where is Fortune? Where is that child?
But, I'm gonna let this go on a little bit more, and I want to find the perfect.
So Verity, you stand in defense of Aphra?
Aphra told me not to.
Oh, right.
I mean, back down.
Okay.
I'm in the back, so nobody really saw me.
I think Aphra is just like, she's still beyond caring. It's like, I'm guilty of not but existing. I have subjected no man, woman, or child to any such bedevilment other than my mere existence.
Well then, if thou can offer nothing but such a feeble defense.
I mean, if Verity wants to jump in.
Verity does want to jump in.
Yeah, okay.
Well, no, let him finish his thing, because if somebody grabs you, that's the moment that I jump in.
Yeah, so he nods, and John Baxter and Alexander Pendleton both come up.
I get in front of John Baxter with my back to Verity, or with my back to Aphra, and I'm like, let no man lay a hand on her. She's done nothing to you.
Whence you choose the wrong side in this conflict, sit thou down.
Any side that's opposite to you, John Baxter, is the right side.
Roll to shut him down, please.
John Baxter is a witch. I roll... What do I roll with shutting down? Roll with cold. What's my cold? It's -1, right?
Yes.
I roll a 6.
Can I give my +1 to her for kind of, since I'm accusing the Baxters?
That would be a great idea. Unfortunately, this is Monsterhearts, so that is not a possible thing to do.
That's fine.
And I think this is
because you are self-centered teenagers.
That's fair. So now, Fortune, sorry.
I think this is the perfect time for the meeting.
I think
what happens
is Alexander Pendleton backhands the hell out of Verity. Take a
Holy
harm.
shit.
He kind of looks over at Mercy and just like, "Mm." And that's when the doors open and in strides Fortune.
I don't stride in so much as kind of like stumble forward and collapse on the ground in my nightdress. And I look up
Rhubarb.
and I point across the room and I point at Aphra and at Verity and I scream, "Witches! Witches! I saw them in this graveyard. I saw them with the devil. I saw them sign his black book and dance under the moon like heathens. They are witches."
I like.
And I pass out.
I like.
Pretend pass out.
Oh, okay, great. They saw me with X.
It's always projection with you witches, isn't it?
Yep.
Damn.
Throw the suspicion somewhere else.
Throw it someplace else, even if the chick you kind of like.
I know, I'm really sorry. We'll work through this. We'll get past this.
Will we?
I don't know.
Um,
I want us to, but I don't know.
I don't care. I'm not here next week, so.
So what does anybody
secretly
do?
rooting for us.
Yeah, right. I wanted better things for our relationship.
What does anybody do? I'm gonna start with Aphra. What do you do?
I'm still held by Alexander and
Yeah, Alexander and John probably have seized you at this point.
and I think I think genuinely Aphra doesn't know what's gonna happen to her. Like, can they kill her again?
Right? Which actually, a good question is, do you know who killed you? And is this the point where we tell them who killed you? Because I saw it happen.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was in two minds. One, I was thinking another witch.
Yeah.
I think it was either that because it's witches and whatnot, or
Like like John Baxter, maybe. And maybe that's why I hate him.
Yeah. So my other one is I kind of want to tie in like whatever the hell the deep ones are doing, but Baxter's would be.
Oh, deep one's good though.
Yeah, because like my idea for like why how Aphra died is because I was sorry. Go on.
Could have been Baxter and Pendleton.
Oh,
You guys currently holding you. But the question, you know that.
I think
this
Aphra
would be
knows.
the time for the appropriate dramatic flashback.
Yeah. Okay, let's flash back, and I think what I've been saying when Aphra says she wanted to be weird and whatnot. Like, I think it was kind of known in Kingsport that Aphra was a weird one, and it's even more known because she was the Reverend's daughter, and she was been sniffing around trying to find witchcraft, trying to find strange people, and who's a family that's been here for generations. They're trying to cover their tracks. I think it's specifically Alexander Pembleton, who goes off to try and silence her. Stop me if I'm putting too much on like other characters, but like, and I don't know what do deep ones do? What does your family do? Mercy, to silence like people sniffing around.
We probably drown him.
Ooh. Yeah, I think. Yeah, maybe like I think it is. It is kind of drowning. Maybe it's near a bank in the woods, moonlight because bright light, and I think the drowning. Aphra is drowned, but they are interrupted by a rustling in the woods, and that's when Verity happens upon the scene.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Or-
know if I do anything though. I think I see it happen, and maybe I'm too stunned to act. Because if I did something, then like Pendletons would know. But they would come back with wolf bites.
Maybe you came at like afterwards, like it was too late, like they were just standing there over the drowned body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they swam away.
Yeah. Did you know that they killed you though? Did you see them? That was the question that we had during the first session, right?
I think yeah. I think
Were they in human form or fish person form?
Ooh.
Form.
All right, wait, is John Baxter also from a Deep One family then?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're because that's why they're arranged. That's why they arranged marriage.
Oh. Yeah, and maybe Mercy didn't know that. That's why she accused the Baxters.
Oh no, she knew.
Oh, she knew.
Listen, not all Deep Ones like each other.
That's fair.
She doesn't want to marry John Baxter.
Yeah, maybe maybe I think Aphra was kind of called out there by Alexander Pembleton, but it was Deep One in fishy people who did the deed, so she wouldn't know exactly.
Okay. You want Verity to at this point accuse them of killing you?
I mean, whatever Verity wants to do, Verity will do.
Well, I mean, it's your story, so I don't want.
Yeah, we're all creating this story. Like I'm.
Fair.
Yeah.
Because
I think at this point, Aphra just wants it all to just collapse and then go, and she doesn't care what happens to her.
Right.
Like she's already dead.
Right.
She just wants this entire town to sink under the whole chaos. So she's kind of just limply like watching this all happen.
Great. So I pull myself up from the ground and wipe the blood off of my mouth and like turn and look at Alexander Pendleton and say, you know, it's interesting that you think you have any authority here, considering that you killed the girl that hangs between the two of you.
Rhubarb. Roll to shut him down.
Yes, I rolled a 10.
So a 9, right?
Yes, 9.
Okie dokie. I know the condition you're gonna take.
Murderer.
That's good too. I was also gonna take you're giving murderer to John?
Yeah.
To Alex? Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
You're gonna take suspicious.
Suspicious. That makes sense.
Because
Vicious
everyone's like,
monster.
how would you know?
Vicious monster is my current condition.
Okay. At this point, a few things begin to happen. First, Major Justice Whitburn grabs Chastity and says, "Take Fortune home and bar the door." Second, he draws his sword. And the third is he pokes it in the chest of the Reverend Moore. Says, "It is time that both thou and thy daughter be under arrest, to be held under the laws of the Commonwealth and under the laws of our noble king and queen."
Is Aphra okay about confronting her killers? I think, yeah, at this point, she is reckless and traumatized. She still has those conditions.
Yep.
And also, yeah, and she's acting like everyone's to blame for her death. Because, yeah, I think that's what the move. So she'd be fine with whatever.
Well, that's fine. I mean, honestly, they kind of are. So, what do you do, Aphra? I mean, Alexander and John are dragging you down, trying to drag you down the aisle. Mercy, I think your dad hops up to help restrain the Reverend Moore.
Is nobody paying attention to Verity because she leaves?
Nobody's paying attention to Verity.
Great, she leaves.
Cool.
Can I just make a suggestion, which for something I think would be really cool, but you can totally ignore it?
Yeah.
So the ghost's darkest self is that you turn invisible and you can move tangible objects, and that's kind of the only way you get to communicate with anyone. So if you maybe wanted to like go darkest self and go full carry on this, it would be amazing. Also, feel free to ignore that if you don't want.
No, like I've been waiting for a chance to go darkest self. I just didn't know how that triggered. Like I said, this is the first time I played Monsterhearts.
You get to trigger it whenever you want.
Yeah.
Like,
It's been a slow burn to it.
Yeah, but the thing is, this isn't a slow burn because you won't see it.
Cool.
I think I kind of want to do that. I want a big dramatic, like big supernatural happening. So I think while they're dragging Aphra down the aisle, she just laughs and just like, "Dost thou think thy walls can halt the dead? I have been poking through your walls since you killed me. You have no hold over me once more. Now watch as all the darkness just bubbles up and faces the light." And I think it's kind of like it's not, she doesn't just disappear, she just kind of, it's like her physical form rips apart.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awful.
But like
awesome.
but like there's no blood or anything. It just kind of like
Yep.
it kind of tears into pieces.
Cool. So at this point, a number of things begin to happen. First, everybody loses their shit simultaneously. The second is Major Whitbourne and Obadiah Pembleton drag the Reverend outside, and they are followed by a crowd, and that crowd is angry, and well, Colonel Lynch isn't around yet, but that's what they got on their mind. There's some people are grabbing ropes. So Verity, you get outside. I think the only intelligent thing to do is to push you next to Fortune and Chastity.
Great.
Yeah, this won't be awkward at all.
Fortune awake?
I mean, yeah, like I'm faking it, but like very convincingly. But you know me. You've been watching for so long that you know, like you see through my shit at this point. There's no fooling you.
There's so much commotion that no one's really paying attention to us right this second. And I grab you by the front of your dress and say, "What is in thy head?
You signed someone else's book.
This is for jealousy? For spite?"
I thought we had something special. I thought that we would be sisters of the night, and you went and signed someone else's book.
He offered me protection. He offered me the key to my past. You offered me the harm of my friend.
Is it? You still should have come with me. I don't know that there's anything that we can do now. But Aphra Moore is going to be gone. And that's all that matters right now.
Aphra being gone, I care for you, but there was no way that you could have gotten me to hurt my friend.
Then I just had to do what you wouldn't. I'm protecting all of us. I'm protecting you. I am protecting our sisters. I will make sure that Aphra can't take anyone else down. I will destroy them.
I lean very close to you and I grab you by the face and say, "Why do you think that Grace never accused you? Because I threatened her with death if she did. I threatened her on behalf of all of us, and I did it without harming anyone I care about."
I think I have to keep my cool now. I think that I may have just realized that I've set into motion a terrible, calamitous thing that I don't know how to get out of. And I am very afraid that I have not just jeopardized, my home here, my safety, but maybe I really have completely misread the mark and I'm not the competent person that I thought I was.
There's a reason this cliche entered the English language.
So my cool is a -1. So
Oh, that's right. You're the sexy witch.
but I still have an 11, so it's a 10. So wow.
Ask me a question.
Okay. So my question is
anything about the situation.
about the situation and take one forward to acting on that information. How can I? What can I do to protect myself and those I love from falling or from being captured up by the witch hunter's noose?
You need to accuse people. You need to give evidence against them. You were in Salem. You know how this works. And so, for those of you that have not read copious books on the subject, or one in the case of me, the way this did work is that the bewitched were in the room during the trials, and they would often shout out things like they saw the specter of someone like floating in the rafters or coming up and pinching them or biting them. It didn't matter if the actual accused person was like literally standing in front of them. And the other trick they used was the belief was that if the bewitched was touched by the witch, the bewitchment would then return into the witch's body and free the bewitched. So if the accused witch touched someone who was bewitched and they suddenly stopped convulsing, that was considered evidence.
All right.
So your way is to get people you want to protect to join you in the little accusation party and start casting aspersions on innocent people right and left.
I place my hands over yours on my face and I whisper, "There's nothing more I can do for Aphra Moore. But if you cared for her so deeply, the least we can do is punish her offender or punish her killers and protect ourselves. Will you side with me?"
No one's looking at us, and like the only thing I want to do is punish bad men. And so like I put my forehead against your forehead and say, I am on your side.
I think Chastity is also awkwardly watching this, by the way.
Oh yeah, she's like right there. It's like, oh, hi, honey. So as we're having this very tender moment, actually, I reach out and I take Chastity's hand. And is Mercy with us too, or like
that is a good question? Where is Mercy? Because your family is basically kind of rooting for the lynch mob right now.
Yeah, but I think Mercy definitely tried to separate herself from that. She did her. She did what she was told to do, and start accusing and kind of then step out. So yeah, she could be over with you.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just say that? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So
at this point, so I just we're here, and I grab each of their hands, and I just say, we must do this together. There can be no going back. And we will say only the same things, so follow my lead. And then I get up and I walk towards the crowd and I point at John Baxter and I scream, John Baxter is a witch!
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I'm not going to kill John Baxter this session. We'll get to that next session because this is boiling up to a nice... Agatha told me that she wants to play the mortal. I think this is going to work very nicely. So... Epilogue for Aphra. Aphra, where do you go while you're in Darkest Self?
I think as much as she hated, she's become hate Kingsport. She can't leave, but because it's so chaotic over there, no one can really notice her. So it's just. And she's not even thinking anymore. Like it's almost like she just wants to let go now.
Oh.
So maybe every now and then there'd be just things moving in ways that they shouldn't have. Maybe around Verity, most likely, because maybe Verity notice every now and then something trying to get her attention, but it's not enough because Aphra just wants to rest now.
If you want to leave Darkest Self, Verity could show you how much she wants you to stay and you could go to rest.
I'm also saying I kind of would like to make my amends to her because she is my darkest self-trigger, actually.
Do that.
Could we all three just have a moment?
All three just have like a little tiny moment.
Okay. Let's have that moment. Where could that moment be?
How about this? You two get a note telling you to meet at one location. It is dropped off by a jolly old man with a staff.
Great. Sounds good. So we
are.
go there.
How's the rock in the woods where they had their little wild witches' Sabbath sound to you, Aphra?
Or it could be where Aphra.
Or the cemetery? Those would be my two suggestions, but
honestly, my idea was where she died.
Yeah, where she died.
Oh, perfect.
So it's like it's a bank near a lake or a body of water, a clearing in the woods.
Like right on the bay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right on the bay. Yeah.
Under the head.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Aphra is just standing there, looking at the water. Do the two of you come in together?
I think so.
Maybe not together, but like it's one of those things where we like arrive at pretty much the same time.
Yeah. I immediately run up to Aphra and grab her by both of her hands, and I'm like, I'm so happy to see you.
I'm happy too. One last time. I don't know what's about to happen, but I wish things had turned out differently, you know?
Ben kisses you on her forehead and says, me too.
Maybe we should just leave. Could we have just done that? Just go. And you said so. I could have done anything. Would you have gone with me? No, that's silly. No, you have a lot tying you down here. I'm sorry. I'm just
No, but you're my friend. I would have gone with you.
that's one tear. And Jake's saying.
And I look over at oh, it's a good idea. I look over at Fortune and say, I think someone else has something to say to you though.
So I walk over to Aphra and I still stand a little bit apart, but for the first time we're actually looking at each other, and we're like I look at you and I say, I'm not going to pretend that I'm not happy to see you go, but I wish that there was something I could have done to help you. I don't hold any grudges against you, and I'm sorry for what happened, and we will make sure that the people who didn't pay.
I think Aphra nods at that. It's like, thank you. Maybe I could. No, I do feel sorry for what's about to happen, and two of you and the rest of you will be facing up against so much, and I can't say it wasn't my fault, but there was a sickness here in this town. The two of you probably know where that sickness lies. And if there's one thing I'd like for you all to do is to find that sickness and send them where I'm headed.
You're going somewhere peaceful. I'm going to send John Baxter to hell.
Thanks. And I think Ever kind of like holds Verity's hand and gives it a kiss, just a nice kiss, and let's go. And she walks off into the She walks off to the water. She's gone.
Well, that sounds like the right place to end.
I loved our friendship.
Wow. Thank you so much. And plus, now I definitely know what to do for the Halloween stuff in Kingsport 1962 next month. Quite clearly, the ghost of Aphra Moore is going to be a Kingsport legend for centuries.
Why do you think I took the ghost playbook?
Thank you so much. That was beautiful, guys. Wow. I am so proud and happy for all of you right now.